What you call small, God calls evidence. The quiet victories you almost overlooked are proof that His hand has been on your life the entire time. What appears small or insignificant in your life is intentional and carries divine weight, not accident or neglect. God does not measure importance the way people do. He works through what is quiet, hidden, and easily overlooked, because those places shape the deepest parts of a person. Small moments are often where alignment is formed. A pause you did not plan, a conversation that seemed ordinary, a season where nothing dramatic happens. These are not filler spaces. They are shaping spaces. God uses them to establish stability before anything visible is built. What feels insignificant often holds protection. If certain things arrive too loudly or too quickly, they would draw attention before foundation. God allows subtlety so growth can occur without pressure or distortion. Divine weight is not always felt immediately. Some experiences only reveal their meaning later. What seemed minor becomes pivotal when you look back. God plants meaning early and allows understanding to mature in time. Neglect produces disorder. This season is producing order. Even in simplicity, there is intention. God is attentive to detail. Nothing entrusted to Him is wasted. Small obedience strengthens integrity. Small endurance builds capacity. Small trust develops resilience. These are not secondary virtues. They are essential. God often chooses the unnoticed path because it forms humility and awareness. When importance is hidden, motivation is purified. You learn to remain faithful without recognition. What appears uneventful may be deeply formative. The absence of visible progress does not mean absence of purpose. God often works where there is no audience. Insignificance, as it feels, creates space for truth to settle without interference. It allows identity to form without comparison. It removes performance from faith. God is not overlooking your life. He is attending to it carefully. The pace, the scale, the quietness all reflect precision. What seems small now is being prepared to carry greater meaning later. Weight requires structure. Structure is built slowly. This is how God works. He establishes depth before visibility. He secures alignment before expansion. Remain attentive to what feels ordinary. God often hides significance there. What you are living now is not random. It is deliberate, measured, and full of meaning, even if its weight has not yet fully revealed itself. God often works with precision and subtlety, shaping identity and trust before allowing visible breakthroughs. His methods are rarely loud or dramatic at the beginning. He prioritizes inner formation over external results, because what is revealed must be supported by what has been established. Precision means nothing is excessive or careless. Each delay, each quiet adjustment, serves a specific purpose. God does not rush outcomes, because haste can fracture identity. He builds slowly so trust can mature without strain. Subtlety protects the work being done. When change happens quietly, it is less vulnerable to interference. Identity forms without comparison. Trust develops without performance. This creates strength that does not depend on validation. God shapes identity first, because identity determines stewardship. Without clarity of who you are, breakthroughs become burdens. He ensures that confidence is rooted in truth rather than success. Trust is formed when you remain faithful without visible confirmation. This trust becomes internal stability. It holds when circumstances fluctuate. Visible breakthroughs are not withheld as punishment. They are timed for sustainability. God releases outcomes when alignment is secure. Subtle work often feels slow, but it is deliberate. God addresses motives, fears, and expectations beneath the surface. You may feel unseen during this phase. In reality, you are being carefully attended to. God's focus is exact. Breakthroughs without preparation can destabilize. God prevents this by working quietly. First, precision also means correction without condemnation. God adjusts gently, reinforcing what is true while removing what no longer serves you. Trust deepens when you learn to rely on God's character rather than outcomes. This trust becomes the foundation for what comes next. Subtle seasons build endurance. They teach patience. They strengthen discernment. When breakthroughs arrive, they will feel natural rather than overwhelming. They will align with who you have become. This process protects both you and what you will carry. God's precision ensures longevity. Nothing about this season is random. It is carefully designed. What you cannot yet see is being prepared to stand. God's subtle work is producing strength that will hold when visibility comes. Quiet progress and unseen protection are signs of God's presence, not evidence of delay or absence. God often works in ways that do not announce themselves. His activity is measured not by noise or speed, but by stability and preservation. Quiet progress reshapes you without spectacle. You may not notice dramatic shifts, but you notice that you are steadier. You respond differently. You endure with more patience. These changes indicate movement, even when outcomes remain unseen. Unseen protection operates continuously. Doors that did not open, conversations that ended, paths that quietly closed were not missed opportunities. They were coverings. God often protects by preventing exposure before readiness. Presence is often recognized in hindsight. You realize later how much was held back, how much harm was avoided. God's restraint is as intentional as his provision. Delay implies neglect. This season reflects attentiveness. God is actively involved in safeguarding what matters most. Quiet seasons teach discernment. To learn to recognize God's guidance without external confirmation. Faith becomes internal rather than reactive. Unseen protection builds trust. You begin to rely on God's wisdom instead of immediate clarity. This trust becomes part of your foundation. God's presence does not always feel comforting. Sometimes it feels like restraint. But restraint often signals care. Progress that remains unseen is often the most durable. It forms identity, not image. You are not standing still. You are being stabilized. Stability allows future movement without collapse. God is not absent because things are quiet. He is near, working carefully. This presence produces peace that does not depend on outcomes. It steadies you during uncertainty. When visibility returns, you will recognize how much was accomplished quietly. What felt slow was protective. What felt hidden was formative. Remain attentive to what is strengthening rather than what is missing. God's presence is often most active when it is least dramatic. Quiet progress and unseen protection are not signs of delay. They are signs of faithful, precise care. This season is training spiritual perception, teaching recognition of God beyond dramatic outcomes or public validation. It is refining how you see rather than what you see. God is adjusting your awareness so that his presence is recognized in subtlety. Note spectacly. When dramatic outcomes are absent, attention shifts inward. You begin to notice movements that were previously overlooked. A quiet conviction, a steadying peace, a gentle redirection. These are not lesser signs. They are mature ones. Public validation can distort perception. It trains the heart to measure God's activity by applause or affirmation. This season removes those measures so discernment can deepen. Spiritual perception grows when reliance on external markers fades. You learn to sense alignment rather than chase evidence. This awareness stabilizes faith. God often withdraws noise to sharpen listening. In stillness, sensitivity increases. You begin to recognize his guidance through restraint, timing, and inner clarity. Training perception requires patience. The mind resists what cannot be quantified. But God teaches through consistency rather than intensity. This season is forming a faith that does not require reassurance. Recognition becomes internal. Confidence becomes quiet. You begin to trust God's nearness even when outcomes remain unchanged. This trust alters how you wait. Perception shaped this way is resilient. It remains intact regardless of visibility. God is preparing you to recognize him in responsibility, not just in relief. This awareness sustains long-term purpose. Public validation is fleeting. Spiritual perception endures. This training ensures that when visible movement returns, you will not be disoriented. You will recognize God's hand because you have learned his patterns. The absence of drama does not indicate absence of God. It indicates refinement of awareness. This season is teaching you to see God in consistency, restraint, and faithfulness. These are the signs that sustain alignment. What is being formed now is discernment that will guide you beyond noise and into clarity. You are being grounded and reinforced through hidden victories so you can remain steady when greater purpose unfolds. God often strengthens what will be visible later by allowing growth to happen where no one else is watching. These unseen moments are not insignificant. They are essential. Hidden victories build internal stability. Each quiet decision to remain faithful, each moment of restraint, each choice to trust without confirmation is reinforcing your foundation. These victories may not feel impressive, but they are forming endurance. Grounding happens when identity is secured beneath awareness. You are learning to stand without leaning on outcomes or affirmation. This independence from external reinforcement creates strength that will not waver under pressure. God reinforces before he reveals. Exposure without reinforcement creates instability. What is being built now ensures that you will not collapse when responsibility increases. Hidden victories reshape how you carry weight. They teach you to move steadily rather than react emotionally. They cultivate patience and discernment. This season also strengthens humility. Success without humility can distort purpose. God preserves alignment by forming humility. Quietly, you may not feel victorious because the battles are internal. Fear is being subdued. Old expectations are loosening. Trust is becoming natural. These are real victories. Grounding also protects you from burnout. When purpose unfolds, you will already be rooted. Movement will not feel overwhelming. God is intentional about timing. He ensures readiness before release. Hidden victories often go uncelebrated, but God values them deeply. They are shaping who you are becoming. When greater purpose unfolds, steadiness will be required. This season is providing that steadiness. You are not being delayed. You are being fortified. What is being reinforced now will support everything that follows. Remain faithful to the unseen work. It is preparing you to carry what is ahead with stability, clarity, and alignment.